Vaughn Allen Sports.
Flag on the play if you're not subscribed to Vaughn Allen Sports. But once you are, we'll make it up to your team in the fourth quarter. You're watching Vaughn Allen Sports, real and honest NFL analysis. Subscribe now and join the empire. Vaughn Allen Sports, let's go.
All right. How you guys doing? Okay, well, I'm not in a particularly good mood, but it has nothing to do with the game itself as far as what exactly happened. All right. What we just witnessed was Thursday night football. This is why football should not be played on Thursday nights. This is why we normally get sloppy games, and even games that we think are pretty good. We call them good because we see some scoring and stuff like that. But if you look at the fundamentals of Thursday night games, the fundamentals on the field, they're just out of whack, and it's just not quality NFL football. You know, that's what I saw here. I also am not going to be too concerned regarding Tom because he had a thumb injury. So I don't, there are things that may have been off, and Tom's never going to talk about it or never mention, if it's affecting him or not, right? So I'm not, again, that's not even going to bother me there either. What bothers me, for one, is the officiating. And it seems like it comes from Roger Goodell at the top, okay? And it's not just officiating. There are other things, but the NFL as a league, I don't know what's going on here, but it's exactly, like, I don't know the inside information, but I can only, just from my observation and then give an opinion here. But it seems like the league is being, what's the right word? What's the word I want to use? Pansified? Is that the right word? Okay. Maybe it's pansified. I don't know. So, maybe that's it. But the taunting penalty, really, on the Eagles player? What was that? What was that? I mean, that was football, okay? Are they going to have counselors now after every game? Is this what this is going to come down to? This is the most macho sport we have in the country, the most macho team sport. And I'm sorry, we got okay, so we got chicks everywhere all over the field. I think I saw another referee tonight. That in itself, isolated, is not a problem. But when you add it all together, now the players have to be careful about what they say. Are you telling me that that's not implemented because of the women being on the field? Come on, man, you know it is. So that's changing the dynamic. So it changes the communication. It changes how people act. And then the guys can't even taunt each other now. Why? Is it because the new guys, the rookies and the second-year players, are their feelings going to get hurt? Is that what this is? This is about their feelings and their emotions? I mean, what is this exactly? I've seen tennis players be more aggressive towards each other than what they're allowed right now. What I see here is an NFL league that is being ran like it's a media company or like Facebook. All right. Roger Goodell is running the NFL as the way Mark Zuckerberg would run Facebook. That's what this is. It's all about optics and PR. I mean, look at the advertisements during the games. The NFL advertisements during the games is just nonsensical. Okay. They don't make any sense. They don't look at the demographic. They don't look at anything that makes any sense. I mean, who are they marketing to with these commercials? I would like to know, because it's certainly not football fans. I mean, the football fans are not exactly a group of people that you would start, marketing this, all this stuff to. And the last thing I need to know is to be watching a football game and trying to focus on the football game, and then every 5 minutes somebody talking about getting cancer or having cancer, or somebody who had cancer who knew somebody who had cancer. All right, I'm fed up with it. I'm just sick of it. I'm sick of all these fake causes. They don't give a shit about people with cancer. All right. They don't give a shit about civil rights. They don't give a shit about women's rights. They don't give a shit if they have their players who beat the crap out of their wives. They have guys who do DUI hit and runs that play again. They have guys going to prison and then they play again. But you insult Roger Goodell and you're done. You insult Roger Goodell or you insult, his almighty king, and they want to suspend you for 4 games for footballs. This is exactly how the government is ran. This is exactly how the Facebooks of the world and Twitter and all that is ran, and that's exactly how the NFL is being ran, and he's going to run it into the fucking toilet. All right, it's going into the toilet. And guys, in 10, 15 more years, it's not even going to be recognizable. It's not. Nothing about the game. Everything is going to be altered now. It's just completely out of control. All right, and it pisses me off. There is nothing in it that says this is football and it helps the game and it has something to do with football. There's nothing in it. I don't see anything that's regarding football. Everything is a cause. So 1 month they want to support the military, right? It turns out the military had to pay for that. Oh, but it's good PR, as Roger Goodell would say. It's good PR, because it makes it look like the NFL cares about its troops. Really? When at the same time you support causes and political causes that put our troops in harm's way, and you support causes privately, you support causes that actually hurt them. Oh, really? Okay. So how many years did we do Breast Cancer Awareness Month, wearing pink ribbons and stuff for girls? The same women that you didn't give a shit that your players were beating the crap out of them. You didn't care then, did you? But you'll care about that. And now after Susan Coleman's organization stopped paying them, now it's a different type of cancer. Now it's just cancer screening. Okay, cool. So yeah, cut it out, dude. Cut it out with all this fake shit. We don't need any of this. And it's just, I'm sick of it. I watch football so my brain can just mellow out. I can enjoy an evening. I don't need to be reminded that my mom had cancer. I don't need to be reminded of that while I'm watching football. I don't need Bruce Arians' fat fucking ass on a camera telling me about his life experience regarding cancer. I don't need it. Sick of it. There's a time and a place for this shit. It's not when I'm wanting to watch a football game. There are a million commercials, a million organizations, a million opportunities to talk about these things, which are very important, but not there. And I'm tired of it. And all that reps in, and no, this is not a random tangent, okay? It's all connected, okay? It's all connected. It's the mentality, and it goes back to the taunting stuff on the field. That is all PR. Do you think they give a shit about anything other than looking bad? No. They don't want some player getting his feelings hurt because he got bullied on the field because someone got in his face and said, oh, you're not getting that first down, or calling him a loser or something. They don't want him reporting that to some human resources person and then them getting in the media for being bullies or whatever. It's football. It's football. It's supposed to be aggressive. It's supposed to be mean. There's no room for this human resources ideology. People are going to get mad. People are going to say things. People are going to be jerks. What do you think this is? I mean, anyway, I put up with it for a while and I've kept my mouth shut. But this tonight was just, I don't know. It was just everywhere. It was everywhere. Every single commercial, everything that they talked about, the commentators. It's like every night now there's a fucking funeral, a funeral segment on the show, on the game. Why? Post it on your website if you want. Post it on the Fox website. Post it on the NFL. I don't need a guy's fucking eulogy running while I'm trying to watch football. Enough of this. All right. Speaking of football. So the Bucs got away with one, didn't they? It shouldn't have been that close. I will say the Eagles are terrible. Their quarterback sucks. Jalen and uh, oh man, Anthony Preston. I like that. That's funny, dude. He says, "Preach, Pastor Von Allen. Time to get the collection plate." Okay, that's funny. I'm sorry, guys. I'm not sorry, actually. I know I'm not sorry. So I'm not sorry. It had to be said. Enough. Israel, $2 super chat says, Arians and the officials suck. Your thoughts on Gruden? Ah, yeah. John Gruden. Okay. Okay, well, let me talk about the game first. The game. If the Eagles, okay, now, before I say this, I'm just going to preface it with this first. This is not a comment about the typical comment where fans say, "Oh, look at the bad officiating, look at the officiating." That's not this, okay? Because both teams are beneficiaries from bad flags, okay? So this is not that. This is about the Eagles themselves. If the Eagles did not have flags tonight, that was their entire game. Their entire game were flags. Now, I'm not going to debate on which ones were good and which ones were not, okay? That's not the point here. It just in general. They relied on flags tonight. Okay? Without flags, they have nothing tonight. Is that their game? Now, I haven't seen a lot of the Eagles this year. This is the second game I've seen, but that's what I've noticed is that their quarterback is terrible. He cannot make a read. He cannot hit a wide open guy. He can't make the tough throws. All he can do is run when everything breaks down, and occasionally he finds a way in. But if that is how they're going to try to survive, they're going nowhere. So the problem is that this seems to be a trend in the NFL. Right now, the quarterback position seems to be dumbed down. It seems to have collapsed a bit. So this clearly had to have started at the high school level, then it infected college, and now it's infecting the NFL. All these new crops of quarterbacks, everybody's trying to be the next Patrick Mahomes or the next Lamar Jackson, all right? Instead of just being them. The idea is to be the quarterback that works, to be the quarterback that works for you and what you are. But this seems to be a forced thing. So now they're trying to build around this kind of way of doing things, and it's not sustainable. It's not. Okay? Patrick Mahomes is the best case scenario, the best possible scenario, the extreme you can get for this style of play in hopes of getting it working and stuff. So he's the extreme, all right? And he's hitting a wall now. And it's hitting a wall. And if he doesn't evolve, if he doesn't change, then he is one of those quarterbacks that kind of had a great run, a time frame, but it just didn't survive. It didn't last forever. Forever and ever. Yeah. Thank you. Forever and ever. Yeah. Very good. So they seem to have dumbed it down. And I especially noticed this when they did the number alteration. So what does the number alteration do? Allowing different positions to wear different numbers that are not traditionally what we've always known them to be. You've got defensive players around there running around wearing single digits on their jersey and crap like that, right? First of all, it's annoying. But the real thing behind this, okay, is yes, I'm putting on my tinfoil hat. Well, not really, because this is just logic. If you follow the logic here, there is no benefit at all to the game in a general sense. It's not improving the game by having the number sequence changed. The only thing it can possibly do is screw up quarterbacks who read defenses. Now, who this won't affect, or who it's not affected, in theory, when they made this change with it in mind, the only people it won't affect are quarterbacks who don't read defenses. So it's not going to affect all of these young quarterbacks who are complete dumbasses. All right? They can't read defenses. They don't know what the hell they're doing. They're lost out there. So yeah, it doesn't affect them anyway. If you can change the numbers, you can put letters on the defense. You could put Egyptian hieroglyphics on their jerseys, and Jalen Hurts is not going to know what the fuck is happening in the secondary. Okay? So it doesn't matter for them. Who does it hurt? It hurts the cerebral quarterback, the pocket passers of the world. Those guys, that's who it hurts. So it dumbs the game down. Come on. You can see this. It's a devolving of the game, and it's happening at a rapid pace. The NFL is not a Fortune 500 company, okay, in the sense of how we think of companies like that. They're a conglomeration of 32 companies, 32 entities. Stop acting like you're a corporation, a corporate entity. Stop acting like that. This is football. This is a sport. And every decision they make on the field, penalties, rules, how they draft, all of this is not football decision. It's PR decision. It's all about how this would look if X happens, it will equal Y, and how will Y look in the press? Okay? Roger Goodell should run for office because he's a politician. Okay? He is not a commissioner of a sports league. He is a politician. And that's with all these changes, all these stupid changes that have nothing to do with anything, but it's ruining the game. Before, I could tolerate all of their nonsense because it wasn't altering the game. It wasn't altering the on-field situation. But now it is. So now we got a bunch of dumbass quarterbacks who don't know what they're doing. We've got poor quarterback play. Let me tell you something. I love Justin Herbert, okay? I think he's awesome. Do you know why everyone is raving about him? Do you know why we're always raving about Justin Herbert? Because he's playing the quarterback position at a pro level. That's what he's doing. He's schooling these idiots out there. All right? They don't know what to do. These defensive backs are playing these read option quarterbacks and run first, run second quarterbacks and guys like that. And they don't know. So when a guy like Justin Herbert is back there knowing exactly where they're going with the ball, You seen Tom? You seen? It's a joke, man. It's a joke. Justin Herbert is just playing the quarterback position the way it was played in the 90s and the way it was played in the 2000s. That's what he's doing. He just looks like a freaking alien to everybody because of his peers. He's not compared to Brady. He's not compared to Russell Wilson or Aaron Rodgers. He's compared to his peers, guys his age. And he makes them look like amateurs. I mean, it's just, but he's not doing anything that a pro quarterback, you wouldn't ask a pro quarterback to do in the 90s. And that's what's happened here. So it's not sustainable. It's flashy, it's interesting, it's cool. And if you get this type of quarterback that like Mahomes with the right guy, the right offense, okay, it can work for a little while, but it's not sustainable. It's not something that you can continue to have success for a long time. It's going to get figured out. If you can't read defenses, if you don't know where you're going with the ball, it's going to catch up to you, and that's it. So, John Thomas Chavez sends a $2 super chat and says, Roger Goodell's father was a congressman and U.S. senator. Why am I not surprised by that, Milena?
Yeah.
I didn't even know that, dude. Makes perfect sense. Okay. I thought the play calling was a little weak tonight. It was erratic. It seemed to not have much logic to it, and that happens sometimes. We've seen that before. So I'm not surprised. But again, this is Thursday night football. I don't like Thursday night football. I think it's a bad idea. Guys, teams only have a few days to get ready for this game, and that's where you see the sloppiness. You got to remember, it's not just planning for the next team; it's recovering. So they played on Sunday. They need a week to recover. They need to go through all that. It's just you can't. You have to give them a day off, and then that ties into the week. And with a short week like that, playing Thursday night, it leads to sloppy play. So I take not much from this game. As far as anything really, even the play calling being erratic. I mean, how much work did they actually put in to knowing how to call against the Eagles? If this exact game was played on a Sunday, then I would be very upset. Not upset, but I would be concerned. Like why are you doing this? What is this for? You clearly weren't prepared, that kind of thing. But look how many penalties. Look at stupid penalties. Not all of them were actually penalties. And then there were times where there was a no call that I was like confused about on both sides. So I don't know. I just don't like Thursday night football. It just seems to be bad. And like I said, a lot of people seem to like Thursday night football if it has high scoring. But what are you really seeing? What you're really seeing is a breakdown in defense. You're seeing, a game can be high scoring and exciting and still be sloppy. It can still be just bad football, and that's what this was. If this was on a Sunday, let's say this was played instead of tonight, it was played this Sunday. This game's a blowout. This game's a blowout. This game is, and by the way, Tom, he would have had extra days for his injury to heal. I mean, this game is, the Bucs are 49, and the defense is banged up. They might give up some points, but like I said, a lot of the Eagles situations were based off penalty flags. And like I said, it's not. I'm not saying that they didn't deserve the ones they got, except for the first one. I do want to talk about the first one. So do you guys remember in the first quarter where Jalen Hurts completely underthrows his receiver, and the receiver has to stop, come back, and he throws his body in to Dean, right? The defensive back covering him. I know that technically is a penalty as the rules. So that's not what I'm saying. I'm not challenging that. What I'm saying is I think that we need to install some logic in the penalty calling. There's got to be some discretion from the refs and some better judgment. I think that a quarterback underthrowing his receiver and his receiver having to come back for the ball is the quarterback's fault. So if the receiver is jumping back into the defensive back because his quarterback sucks or makes a mistake, how can you call that pass interference? I don't get it. You see what I mean? So there's got to be some kind of judgment there. They've got to. It can't just be so ridiculous like that. You got to have some logic here. And I've seen this quite a bit, in the last the last 2 or 3 years of these guys jumping into the defender because their quarterback threw a bad ball. And it goes back to what Tom was saying as well about penalties on hitting a receiver. Well, do you know how many times a defensive guy gets a flag because the quarterback was an idiot and the quarterback made a bad throw or a bad read and led his guy into a lane to get lit up? When are we going to hold them accountable? Everything is on the defense. Everything is the defense's fault. Why is that? Well, I mean, again, this is the whole logic behind it. Why are we? It's always, the defense. Look what the defense did. Well, the quarterback shouldn't have led his guy right there in harm's way. What do you expect? What do you expect? Don't be stupid. The quarterback needs to be smarter. He needs to know how to keep his guys safe. And that's the thing. Again, goes back to the dumbing down of the quarterback position. These guys don't know. They don't know. They can't read defenses. Do you expect them to actually know not to put in the heat of the moment, to not put a guy right in front of a linebacker who's like a heat-seeking missile coming at him? Whap. Okay? No, that's the quarterback's fault, man. Your receiver is completely defenseless when he goes up for a ball. He's exposed. He can't do nothing. It's the quarterback's job to keep your guy from getting lit up. They blame it on the defense. Okay, really? Nice. Well, I warned you tonight I was in a mood, so sorry, Thank you. James Johnson. Consul James Johnson, I should add. Consul James Johnson sends a $2 super chat, says, who disliked the video? Have you no shame? Oh, that always happens. I always get someone who clicks dislike immediately. It's like before I even start sometimes. Yeah, it's consistent. So yeah, it's just, I appreciate it.
Oh, someone else linked the like. Don't bring it up.
Why? It's fine. It's a good thing.
Yeah. Bad publicity is still publicity. What was that?
Well, the joke's on them. I just won't tell them why the joke's on them.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, it's fine.
Click something.
As long as you're watching, click something. Click anything. I don't care. I'd prefer you click the thanks or the like button, but yeah, click anything.
Especially the subscribe button.
Nice. Check this out. Donnie sends a $20 super chat. He says, I wish they would just let the boys play. Call only obvious penalties, not the shirt-touching PIs, etc. I've noticed a little more penalties are called against the away team than the home team also. Yeah, that seems to happen. And I think that might come from the refs. Well, the refs are people, okay? So they're going to respond to certain things. And you know, the natural human reaction, and even if you're doing it subconsciously and you don't realize you're doing it, You want to be liked, and you don't want to be hated. You don't want to be booed. You don't want to be, the guy everyone is looking at, and they may not be consciously trying to think about this, but it does happen. And I think sometimes they tend to kind of go in the direction of the home team and play to the home crowd. And yes, I have noticed that, Donnie, and that's true. So I mean, I don't know that that's the reason, but that's the vibe I get. So because otherwise it would be the NFL saying to do that, and that would be a whole different can of worms. Because that would be, well, that'd be considered rigging. That would be flirting with the line of rigging games, and so I don't think it's that. I don't think they tell them to do that because that would be insane to do that. Thank you, Donnie, for that $20 super chat, man. I appreciate it. It's awesome. Thank you. Nightly Sinister, Kevin.
Oh, hi.
Kevin, nice to see you on here, buddy. I've known Kevin since we started kindergarten together. We've been friends ever since. Kevin sends a $5 super chat. He says FIFA asked EA for $1 billion every 4 years for the rights. NFL will probably follow. Everything is turning corporate.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, speaking of EA, Kevin, I think they removed John Gruden from the Madden game. At least that's what I saw. They removed him real fast, but he's not the coach anymore. So I guess you would remove him. But the only coach that doesn't have a profile is Bill Belichick because he's not part of the coaching union. And I still think that's hilarious. It's always some generic name. I can't remember the guy's name, but it's like some generic coach's name, and he looks the same every year, and he's got glasses. He wears a hat. Yeah, on the EA game, because everybody else is the real people. They look like the real people. But Belichick, it always says New England coach, or he has like a stupid generic name. Yeah, it's funny. So I guess that's John Gruden now. I don't have the new Madden yet. I haven't had time to play video games. I'd love to, but you know, but yeah, I haven't seen it. Thank you so much, Kevin. I appreciate it, man. Nice to see you up here. It's Pickle Dick. It's Pickle Dick. I had a feeling it was Pickle Dick. Pickle Dick says it's him playing with the dislikes. So, Trav. Oh, guys, if you want to ask me some, if you're talking directly to me, put at Von Allen or at Aaron. Otherwise, I'm going to assume that it's in conversation within what you're doing there. So. Turbulent Velocity. We're having a reunion here. So this is my sister. Turbulent Velocity sends a $2 super chat. She says, mood, written with smiley faces as the ooh. Nicely done. I wish the way she wrote it would come up on the screen, but it doesn't for some reason. Thank you, Nightwalker. Thank you, Daniel. Okay. Yes, Trav, I got you. Just a second. I have to turn the interview section on. Okay. I wasn't going to take calls tonight, but Travis, I'll make an exception for you, buddy. You haven't called in a long time. So call up, speak your piece, and let's find out. Let's see what's up. So.
Yeah, sent a highlighted message.
No, he sent a $5 super chat, actually.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay.
So see, I answered him just in time. Trav Burnett sends a $5 super chat and says, how can I call, brother? I know Travis has got something to say. I can pretty much guess what he's going to say. So.
Tell him you sent him the link.
Red coat, yeah. And I'll answer you guys anyway, especially if you're members. The red coat I should say console red coat. We have 2 consoles. Console means that it is the highest membership tier you can get, which is $50 a month. And we have 2 consoles. So we have James Johnson, we have the red coat, Jason Patrick Saunders. And he says, "How was the game? We'll have a watch later." It was a fun game. I mean, it's a fun game as far as it's Tom, okay? And again, I'm not a Bucs fan. I'm not a fan of, like, if Tom wasn't on the Bucs, I would, it's like they don't exist tomorrow. Okay? They don't even matter to me. So it's fun watching Tom, but it was pretty sloppy, to be honest with you. And Tom missed some throws, and I think that has something to do with his injury. But Leonard Fournette had a great game. He ran hard tonight, so he was on point. Trav, what's up, my man?
What's going on, brother?
Hey,
How
nice to
you
hear from
doing?
you. I'm okay. I'm a bit annoyed tonight, but I'm doing good. So
I had something happen with my bank account and all. That's why I had to cut my membership. I'm gonna join back in a minute.
oh yeah, I know you told me, but you don't have to explain, man. I mean,
Well, I never heard nothing back. You know, I've been loyal since the beginning.
oh, you haven't heard back from
You,
oh, from me. Didn't you tell me on the show the other night?
I wrote
Or
you. I didn't hear nothing back. I know you're a busy guy. Hey, they've went woke, and
the NFL?
Roger is playing both sides of the fence. You're seeing this whole public perception that wants you to do things a certain way now. And he's trying to play that, but he knows where his money is and he knows his fan base.
Yeah.
And as soon as you allow a stadium open, and he tested it first in Florida with DeSantis, if I say a stadium's open, how many people will come? Oh, sold out.
Right.
In Thursday night, I agree with you 100%, which we've talked about it before. They're just trying to spread out the money.
Right.
They're spreading the product out for more market shares for more time.
It's also the same thing with the 17 game season now. It's completely idiotic. Oh, that's another contradiction I want to mention, guys. So Roger Goodell, it's all about player safety, right? It's all about player safety. You know, CTE is a problem only because they got caught, all right? CTE and that scandal that was going to come, that they saw coming, was why Goodell got the job in the first place. Paul Tagliabue resigned because of it, all right? But they're all about player safety, but you just added a regular season game. Why would you do that?
Brother.
See what I mean? Money, baby.
Oh, no. Can I spit some serious game about player safety?
Before you do,
right?
let me read this super chat before you do that. Console
Go
James
ahead.
Johnson sends a $20 super chat. Thank you, James. And he says, how come the offense can celebrate and get pumped up for a big play, first down, touchdown, etc., but the defense can't celebrate or get pumped up for a big hit, turnover, defensive score, etc.? Taunting penalties are stupid. Exactly. I mean, guys, if I'm complaining and if I'm defending the defense, I mean, you guys know I'm a quarterback guy. That I love quarterback play. If I'm defending the defense, something's wrong. So, something is really wrong if I'm defending the defense. So, it's out of control. James, great super chat, man. I totally agree with you. Thank you so much. Trav, so what is your opinion on player safety?
It's real simple to me. It's math, right? Is 2 + 2 still 4, brother?
No.
Right? No, well, yeah.
Not in this world anymore, but it can 2 + 2 can now equal banana or yellow or suspension bridge.
Yeah.
But yeah, 2 + 2 = 4. Yeah.
Why'd you cut the roster? If you truly care why did you cut down to a 53-man game day roster? Why not allow a 64 game day roster like they used to, allow a 73-man roster and add a couple of, you can go up to like 15 on the practice squad. The more players, the more hits you can spread out between the vehicles. If you truly gave a fuck, but that they really don't. Like, and I just called in to back you up because you preach the truth. You know what I mean? But if you truly cared, you would up the numbers of players that could get in head-on collisions. Gronk breaking his forearm, blocking on an extra point after a tub. Why? 53-man roster.
Yep.
Why is Matt Judon getting a tackle on special teams for us last week? 53-man roster.
Exactly.
If you really fucking care, bump up the roster, and that's more guys that can get into train wrecks, which means less train wreck per player. But they like specializing in itemizing a certain amount of jerseys.
Yep.
And they don't want to buy too many from China that don't sell, that they got to send to Haiti for free as a tax write-off.
Right.
So they want, they're trying to play the NBA, where we're going to give you all the guys you want to see all the time. And in the NFL, as we know, I mean, I've been a Patriots fan for 40 years. That ain't how it works. That's not how it works.
Right.
If you stuck to the NBA protocol, we wouldn't know who Tom Brady was, because Bill would have been forced to put Drew back in against the Saints when he was healthy.
That's a great point.
But because the NFL isn't, it's strictly production based.
Yeah.
Shannon Sharp and Club Shay Shay and all them coochie wanananas, they love to preach it. It's production based.
Yeah.
And it's like,
well, if the thing about the NFL, which is why it became the biggest sport, is because it was never about it was never about the players first. It was about the game. It was always about the game. And it could survive. It could survive whether we had superstars or not. The NBA, the reason they're in trouble is because it was only superstar based. And the game suffered because of it. Look, when was the last time you watched an NBA game? It is almost unwatchable.
I don't.
It is garbage.
I don't.
Okay? It's complete and utter garbage. And
I know I'm smoking a cigarette, but I play once a week, and I spank the shit out of high school kids and 18-year-olds, and I'm over 40. And I make it easy because they don't know the angles and the math. These assholes, Steph Curry and them, Steph Curry and them ruined the game because everybody wants to take a 40-foot transition three. And you got four guys. I'm not running wind sprints up and down the court to be completely out of rebound position or territory for your yanked up 40-foot three.
Yep.
They don't even know the angles. Me and my brother-in-law, he's 38 and he's short, but he's got a shot.
Mm-hmm.
But the two of us, it's kind of like John Stockton, Karl Malone. It's simple trigonometry. Same thing Brady does to people all the time. The point is, these assholes don't know what the hell they're doing. And that's why Tom is feasting. And the only thing that got him off tonight was the bad calls. And as a Patriots fan watching every single game of his entire career, he was forcing it. because he wanted nothing more than to spank the Dolphins, because we both know Tom loves the only thing he loves more than beating the Jets is beating the Dolphins.
Yep.
Amen. And then after that, here comes, and I don't even like to talk about Super Bowl 52 with the 505 and all the goodness.
Sure.
But now I get a chance to spank. And I've had an argument with a bunch of people. And whenever you need me to go, I'll go. But I've been having this argument with a lot of people about Tom's departure, and I haven't got to talk to you. And what I can't get across to people is that they don't understand that when you are the Dark Empire, when you have caved people's heads in, when you have gone into someone's house and the home team boos the home team off of the field, no one wants to work with you. And for anyone that wants to fight on the arguments, on the comment section, anybody that wants to argue, Bill offered the Giants everything they wanted for Odell. 4.5 weeks later, Odell goes for a 3rd and a 4th to the Cleveland Browns. I could get into the whole where we should have got Terrell Suggs. But seeing how we had won the Super Bowl, the Chiefs took their extra money and picked up T-Sizzle for the playoff run against us. Why? The only reason is because they got a chance to pick him up before we were ever able to offer anything, because they were ahead of us in the restricted free agency.
Well, that's the problem with being good all the time too. People don't realize when you're a Super Bowl champ, and when you're always having great records, when you're going 13-3 every year, or something close to that, you're picking last in the draft nearly, and when there's a free agency or not a free agent, a guy goes to the waiver wire, you don't get priority. You're at the back of the line. So any good players are not going to survive waiver priority. They're just not. And that's another thing about being the best. It's one thing to win. Okay? It's one thing to win and catch everyone off guard and win one time. It's another when you've got a target on your back. When you are the guy. That's why I always say defending your title or continuing to be great after you've won is way more impressive than winning it to begin with. It's the same thing in UFC. I don't know if you guys watch MMA much, but in UFC, yeah, any guy can get a punch in and win the belt. But can you defend that belt? Can you defend it when everyone is watching you? Everyone's studying you now. Can you defend it?
In UFC, in the UFC and boxing, you're really not the champ until you defend the belt.
You got to defend. Look, oh man, we got a huge super chat from Donnie. Take a pick 1313. He already sent $20. Now he sent 50. He sends a $50 super chat and says, "Speaking of Bruce Arians, oh, don't get me started on him. We'll be here all night." Speaking of Bruce Arians, when asked about Giovanni Bernard's play last week, he says he had a good second half, but if he pass protects like he did in the first half, he won't be playing. Bruce, he's small, moron. Terry pointed out 4th and 2 tonight.
No. Hey, Bruce, Giovanni's going to be in when Tom says he's in.
Yeah, exactly.
Period.
And by the way, tonight they mentioned, and it's not just tonight. I've heard this since the Super Bowl, but they were showing Byron Leftwich, the offensive coordinator for the Bucs. And they were saying, "Oh, Byron Leftwich, he's going to be up for a head coaching job soon." Why? Like, he's not ready. He's not ready. Not yet. Okay? Give him a few more years.
The same
Give him a few more
reason.
years. I just want to show my example. Look at all these idiots who have gotten head coaching jobs in the league right now. The Zach Taylors of the world at the Cincinnati Bengals. Okay, guys like that. The head coach at the Falcons. The head coach at the Eagles tonight. Who are these people? Who the F are these people? Okay, so you have a coordinator, right? He has a good year. He has a good year of calling some plays, and now you give him a franchise? Really? I mean, what is happening here? And it's just no. Give Byron by the time Tom retires, Byron will be ready. Okay, that's when you give him the job. You don't give him the job after only working with Tom for a year and a half. That's absurd. Okay, you give him the job after several years. I mean, look, Josh McDaniels was with Tom for how long, and that failed. I thought Josh took that head coaching job too early. He should have waited. These guys need to wait. They need to wait so they don't fail the first time. And they're just throwing coaching jobs at these guys. And yeah, it's just all of these things is contributing to the decline of play in the NFL. The intelligence of it, the cerebral chess match that it always was. That's missing now. It's all about physicality. It's all about just, I can run the ball, or I can do this and flashy. I can throw the ball sidearm. I can do all this stuff. But this is not basketball, okay? Basketball lives off of cool dunks and 40-foot threes like you're talking about. They survive off that because the game is such crap. The game itself is garbage today. But the NFL doesn't have to do that. They're the NFL. They're football. Football is a great game. Don't screw it up. That's all you got to do. Just leave it alone. Just leave it alone. Don't do anything, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, Donnie. That was awesome, man. Thank you for that super chat. That was massive.
For sure, Donnie. Appreciate.
Hell yeah.
The thing is that they don't we talked about it before. They're all about selling a new thing.
Yep.
Since Patrick, I'm a diehard Patriots fan for anybody that's writing and hating or, my whole life. Before, I was watching the game when Mo Lewis blew up Drew Bledsoe, and I was pissed when Tom Brady came on the field. And my wife has reminded me for over 20 years when she sat there and said, you never know, he might be the best thing that ever happened. And
Yep.
if you don't think my wife for 20 years has rubbed that in, I'm telling you, no one wanted to work with Bill. You got 31 other GMs that are under the same hot seat that these coaches are. People don't know their names as good and they don't sell jerseys, but the turnover rate is almost the same as the head coaches, right? You're winning or you done been fired. That's it. And you don't want to be the guy that made a trade with Bill. You don't want to be the guy that sent somebody to the Patriots. And, that's where we are.
Right.
And for everybody, why Tampa Bay was so locked and loaded, it's pretty easy. When you sucked for 2 decades.
No one was afraid of
and
you.
you had and you had extremely high draft picks.
Number 2 picks.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Yeah. Shaq Barrett and O.J. Howard and, Humphreys. The list goes on and on when you get to pick at the cream of the crop. It's simple, which I still think we're going to be good. And I applaud Bill for that shadow coverage that he ran against Tom last week.
Yeah, but we knew he was going to run that. Yeah.
Oh, I know. I knew he was. How good are they going to run it? Was the question. But definitely. But they've got 2 weak sauce, and I've got 3 daughters. I'm a girl dad. I love women to death. Like, when a grown man hits a grown dude, if when you get up, one of those grown dudes tells the other grown dude that their livelihood and millions of dollars, and not just theirs, their mama,
Yep.
grandmama, daddy, auntie,
Mm-hmm.
uncle, brother, cousin, everybody's on the line. If I say the B word to you, like, that's,
So what? It's just
yeah.
so what?
Anybody that's ever played sports and been in the heat of the battle and in the heat of the moment, they've gotten way too soft, obviously. And, you know, to cushion it, and you can't say nothing. And they're going to see the backlash. I really believe it. Because you
Dude,
remember when they
oh,
weren't
sorry.
allowed to celebrate.
Right.
And now you can celebrate because people are like, you know, dude just ran through 3 train wrecks and made play of the year. He's not allowed to high five his buddy.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Man, the stuff they're throwing flags for taunting. Do you have any idea what not my high school coaches, junior high. I'm talking like 7th grade coaches. Do you know the way they spoke to us? I mean, my God, it's such a different world now. I mean, it's just, it doesn't mean anything in definition. Okay? If you call another player
Dude,
a bitch, you're not calling him, you're not thinking about degrading women. You're not calling him a female dog. It's just a word. It just doesn't really, it's not a, I think the intention matters and the context of it matters. And how can you? I mean, they
it's
threw
to
a
me,
taunting
I
penalty for
told
calling the guy a bitch. Really, really? I mean, that's clearly because
I
there are
told
females on the field where there shouldn't be. So probably if they can't handle it, or at least sign a waiver. Sign a waiver saying, you know, uh, it's okay to talk, or I'm not going to be offended, or I'm not going to sue for bad talk on the field or whatever. Then that's fine with me. I don't care if you're there or not. Other than that, just let the guys be who they are. And if the girl wants to be there, then that's up to her to hear that, So there you go. I think I think I'm being very reasonable here. So
oh, you know, I'm a contractor, and my dad was a contractor. I was raised
oh
on
shoot,
jobs. I've been on job sites my entire life. Like, I don't
man.
know, like, how to stand behind the counter and the customer is always right. I've
Mm-hmm.
heard things that would make John Wayne's skin crawl.
I'm sure.
And, well, personally, I'm, whether, who it matters to, that's not my forte. The point of the story is there's a time and a place for things. And when grown men making millions of dollars with contracts worth millions and millions of dollars at stake are
Yep.
going at it, the dialogue that happens between the two of them should matter none at all. It's ridiculous. And
I want to address Houston Burnside's comment here. They say, I don't even know why the NFL even introduced these new taunting rules. What did they gain from making it stricter? Okay, so that goes back. I don't know if you just logged on, but this goes back to my complaint about Roger Goodell making this a corporation. They run in the place like it's Facebook, right? It wasn't to make the game better. It wasn't to gain anything. It was because there are women on the field, first of all. There are women trainers on the sidelines. There are women refs now. And they don't want words being said, and not just the girls, though. I'm not just blaming it on the girls. It's the soft players that are coming up from college right now. And they don't in this whole bullying campaign nationwide, that whole thing. They don't want bad PR. So they literally are affecting the game over potential bad PR. Not bad PR that's already there, but the possibility of bad PR. And this is exactly how corporations run. That's exactly what they do. The human resources people, they come to talk to you and tell everybody, We can't say this now. You can't say that. You can't do this. You can't do that. And it affects the workplace. It affects it. I mean, it's so bad now you can't even, like, men and women can't even communicate with each other at work because they're afraid that it's going to be a sexual harassment case or something. I mean, it completely ruins the dynamic. And now they're doing that on the field because they're afraid of a lawsuit. So Houston Burnside, that's exactly why he did it. It was about it's politics, it's PR, it's all of that stuff. That's what this is about. It has nothing to do with improving the game. So
No, it's protecting the brand. And Roger Goodell says it all the time. He says it's about protecting the brand and the shield. And what's lacking from his comments is what we all
which
excuse me.
which
It's what we
means,
can all see is the game.
okay,
What about
protecting the
the
shield.
game?
What that means is protecting the owners, okay, and protecting himself. It doesn't mean protecting the players. It does not mean protecting the employees, anybody else. It just means their own asses, okay? Let's take Robert Kraft. I used to address him as Mr. Kraft. I don't call him that anymore because Mr. Kraft implies respect. I have no respect for him. Okay? So Robert Kraft does what he does in Florida. He knew what he was doing. Okay? He knew that if he got caught, how it was going to look on Patriots fans. Okay? Patriots fans were going to take a beating for something like this, which we did. It was embarrassing. Nothing but laugh and ridicule, and the players had to deal with this ridicule, and yet Robert Kraft didn't give a crap. What happened to him? Nothing. Nothing. Okay? So now we got the John Gruden situation. All right? But what about Dan Snyder? This entire thing, all right, this entire situation with John Gruden was discovered by Dan Snyder's, the investigation into the former Washington Redskins, who are now the DC Lizard people. And they were investigating to them, and the emails were found because John Gruden was writing his friend, Bruce Allen, who was working for the Redskins at the time, right? And they saw what John Gruden said, and they go after John because of the way he said it. And I cannot believe he said what he said in that way. I don't, what in the hell was he thinking, right? But let's put that to the side here, right? And I haven't read them all. Okay, I'm only going by what I've heard. I don't even know exactly what he said, so I'm not even sure exactly what the context was. But that's not the point here anyway. The point is, John Gruden goes down, right? John Gruden goes down, but Dan Snyder, you know he's going to be fine. And he ran a team? Allegedly, he ran a team for 15 years of nothing but sexual harassment and all kinds of crap, right? But we're talking about John Gruden. We're talking about John Gruden. And John Gruden, the stuff he did, he wasn't even employed by the NFL at the time. But Dan Snyder has been an owner this entire time. It's always to protect the owners. That's what this is about. You want to get after the Patriots? You don't go after Robert Kraft. No, you punish Tom Brady. That's what you do.
Well, Disney bought ESPN, and the same as we see going on now with the Biden and Harris regime is it's the cup trick at downtown Manhattan to wherever you're from. It's the street hustler. It's the magician. Watch the left hand while I do what I do with my right hand. And they're playing to the court of public opinion. And they're trying to sell out for the court of public opinion. And it's
when I was about 9 years
weak.
old, my grandpa was living with us, and me and my grandpa and my dad were watching something on TV about UFOs. And my grandpa didn't speak very much. He died just right after that. So he wasn't feeling well. He was kind of sick, but he would speak sometimes and say things. And he said something. This is one of the few things I remember him saying to me because I was really young. and he paid attention on UFOs, and they were saying that the government will never admit it. And he said, the day that the government admits UFOs are real, that means something really awful must be happening. For them to admit something like that means that what are they doing behind our backs that's really worse than that, right? And I remembered that recently, and I'd forgotten that he'd said that, but I remembered when the government revealed that UFOs are real. They don't know what they are, but they are real. To put that out there, what could they possibly be working on? But anyway, I don't want to get into politics here, but that is an interesting thing, But the problem is that the sports leagues and companies in general are all political machines now, and they do whatever they think will look good at that moment. This is football. It's a sport, and it's supposed to be about the sport. Okay. Now, I don't know how Roger Goodell is still employed. I would have fired him after the Ray Rice situation. Okay. After you gave Ray Rice a 2-game suspension, that's when he's got to go. All right.
That was before the video, though.
They knew about the video.
Well, I know, but everyone else didn't.
So they were forced to, is what you're saying, right? Okay. So they were forced. They were forced to do it.
Because we both, yeah, well, we both know.
What does that
like,
mean, Trav? What does that mean? That means that Roger Goodell doesn't give a shit about women. He doesn't. He says he does.
I agree. And even, even my wife, who unfortunately has to watch a bunch of this stuff with me, you heard Ray Rice hit his wife, and, you hear people hit their wives, and, there's cowards out there, and I have no problem calling anyone that wants to gain masculinity by striking a female as a coward. But you hear about it all the time because men are weak and have issues. But when you seen the video and he hit her with like some Mike Tyson short inside right hook.
Dude, he knocked her out like a buck.
Ripped her head off. But I think what really killed it in the video was when he sat her up and then tried to pretend like she was drunk in front of bystanders. Like that's the death sentence, buddy. But they were forced to. And no, they don't care. Look at Greg Hardy.
Yeah. How many times
you beating the hell out of somebody and then taking pictures of automatic weapons, which, I mean, I've got my weapons and I have nothing against weapons, but you don't post a picture of all your weapons displayed on the bed after you beat the hell out of your old lady. I mean, what the hell is going on?
As gun owners, if you're a responsible citizen as a gun owner, you take that responsibility seriously. Dude, from the time I was a kid, we were taught how to handle firearms properly. How to you are in control of that firearm, and you certainly don't start taking pictures and posting it everywhere. That's not something that you're supposed to be doing, especially like you said after you beat up your girlfriend or wife or whoever it was. But there's a difference between a player getting in a dispute with his, like Richard Sherman was caught on tape banging on a door or whatever. All right, big deal. Okay, big deal. That's not the same thing. That's not the same thing. Okay.
No, it's not. You can hypothesize.
Yes.
With Sherman, you can hypothesize what may or may not have happened, but we know what did happen.
And what about like
correct.
Dave just said? What about Tyreek Hill? Why is Tyreek Hill still playing? Because he's a great player. You heard what he said. And it's like, okay, so The point here is, and I'm not even trying to, this isn't even about going after the players. It's about the hypocrisy. It's about Roger Goodell's hypocrisy. If he can keep it covered, if he can keep it quiet, he will. And only until it gets leaked to the public and it's bad PR is when he actually acts. He does not care at all. Do you think him and these owners really give a crap about anyone? Come on. That's
Dude,
not, it's not believable. It's just not. It's stupid. And people fall for it, though. They fall for it.
Ray Lewis's chauffeur got his head blowed off.
Yeah.
Ray Lewis's chauffeur got his head blowed off, but Baltimore had just moved in 97 from Cleveland, and they're
And they needed
trying to
him.
sell the franchise, and they had a team, and they were on the up and up, and all of a sudden, Ray Lewis is taking snaps at middle linebacker for the Baltimore Ravens, and they end up winning the Super Bowl that year. Lo and behold, how about that? And I hate to think it's gone that way, but I've been watching you all night. What you were talking about earlier. Now that they've got these Fox Super 6 and the NBC Predictor,
Yeah.
you know, where people can win money, and then you already had the Vegas odds and stuff. It, in the way the world's going, it does make me question whether or not some of these flags possibly aren't coming from the headset, you know?
Well, that would be a big deal. So that would something like that, if it went up high enough, that would destroy the game. And so I don't think that they're that stupid. Like I said, he runs this place like a business, and that would be a fatal error to do that. No. Just a
They feel like they're untouchable though. And I hate it for John, because John Gruden, in all his wild craziness and all the antics and screen presence and the character that he plays, John Gruden's actually a really good coach. He's in a note. He was in. I'm not talking about the emails. I'm not talking about personality. You're in kind of a no-win situation. I personally see Derek Carr as a Ryan Tannehill, and I see their careers extremely similar, where the Dolphins are like, what's out there? We don't know. This guy, maybe, oh, well, next year he's going to turn the corner. Oh, well, this is his year. This is his year. I see Derek Carr the same way, where you can't just cut him and get rid of him because the fan base likes him, and ownership in the locker room and the team have belief in him. But at the same time, he can't take you where you need to go, but he's in that weird limbo, kind of like Tannehill in the Miami days, where what was he supposed to do?
Well, I think Derek Carr is a better quarterback than Ryan Tannehill, but I know what you're talking about. Just a little bit better probably. But Raiders fans have argued that the league is out to get them. Okay, so I don't know if I believe that 100%. I would say that it's there. There's a history there, of course, because Al Davis sued the Raiders or sued the league, and ever since then there's been bad blood. But there's completely different people in charge now, on both sides, on the Raiders and the NFL side, right? So I don't know if I believe in all that. I think the Gruden thing was, you always make a scapegoat, okay? So you need one guy to go down because you're protecting someone else who, if that gets out, is way worse. So if they're going after Gruden for this, imagine what is in the records for Dan Snyder and what those guys were doing. that must be devastating to the NFL itself. And so I'll tell you this. They did it with, do you remember Harvey Weinstein? Do you remember the guy who went to prison in Hollywood, big movie producer, Miramax and all that? Why him, right? People have wondered why him, right? So half the actresses in Hollywood slept with this guy so they could get a part, right? So why him? Everyone in Hollywood, not everyone, I'm speaking hyperbolic here, but a big portion of Hollywood are perverts. They're messed up, dude. They're messed up way worse than anything you could ever imagine. But one guy goes down. So they threw one guy to the wolves, one guy who was guilty, okay? But they threw him to the wolves so nobody else gets messed with because the authorities needed somebody. They were investigating Hollywood. They were investigating all these reports. They needed someone to go down. They went, so they threw him in, okay? And that's kind of what this reminds me of, the NFL version, is take Gruden out because of, so what is so bad that you had to destroy John Gruden? What are you really protecting, you know? And again, we have a super chat here. So Donnie sends a $5 super chat. It says Robert Kraft's solicitation of prostitution case was dismissed. Really? Shocker. Yeah. You see what I mean here? So my team's the Patriots, but I want to know, but I keep it 100% legit. I don't care if it's someone I like or has something to do with something I like. It's just either right or it's wrong. Why do the owners seem to get away with everything? Especially owners who are powerful and have a lot of money and are worth a lot of money and sit there and have a team that's worth, you know, X amount of dollars. So.
Because they're billionaires.
All right, Anthony Preston sends a $5 super chat. Okay, this is funny. He says, "Here's my money for the collection plate. You guys spoke truth tonight. Pastor Aaron and Minister Trav." I like it. $5 super chat from James Johnson. He says, "It's not just the hypocrisy." I'm sorry, from Consul James Johnson. He says, "It's not just the hypocrisy. It's that they aren't afraid to pull the crap they do. This is what happens when people have zero accountability." My God, accountability is something that does not exist anymore. All right, it doesn't exist. It's, guys, let me explain something to you. This is what I'm going to tell you is not just in sports. All right, it is in life. They want you to believe that there's division between political ideology. They want you to believe that there's a division between race or religion or gender or whatever, or sexual orientation. They want you to believe all that. But we all personally know that we don't have a problem with anybody. We all are just good people. We can hang out with anyone. We can talk to a friend with anyone. The truth is, it's them up here and the rest of us down here. All right? That's the real division. It's a class thing. And it's not upper class, middle class. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking ruling class. Thank you. Exactly. Like Milan just said, ruling class. And then we're all peasants. Okay? So even, and it doesn't mean just because you become a millionaire. Okay? Like the players, they're peasants too. Because they're not a part of the group. They're not a part of the club. They're not in the club. So it's not just about having money. Okay? It's a ruling elite. It's almost like nobility. Okay? And that is the problem. And that's why certain people get in trouble and some don't. And that's exactly what it is. It has nothing to do with those other things that they make us want to believe it is. But it's literally the upper echelon, the ruling class, and the rest of us. And the rest of us, it can be anywhere from an upper class millionaire all the way down to someone, you know, who's just getting started in life. So, and anything in between. That's the real truth here. And that's what we're seeing. John Gruden is not part of the elite ruling class in the NFL. But Dan Snyder is. Robert Kraft is. Roger Goodell is their servant. That's the difference. All right, I'm going to let you go, Trav. Thanks, man, for calling in. This was awesome.
All right, man. I hit you back.
All right, have a good night, buddy. So yeah, that's the deal here, and that's really the truth that's going on. Don't fall for the crap. Don't fall for any of this, because it's just not true. Think about yourself right now, okay? Picture yourself going out into the world. Picture yourself going to a football game, and there could be someone who's not of your race to your right, someone who's not of your sexual orientation to your left, someone who's not of your religion behind you, but you're all rooting for the same team. You're all talking. You're all having fun. Oh, man, welcome to the game. You're all having a good time. You don't give a crap about all this. But if you turn on the news and turn on the TV, they're going to convince you that there is a problem. They're going to convince you that the guy sitting next to you hates your guts. They're going to convince you that the guy behind you doesn't like you and resents you. Okay? They're going to convince you that you may hate them, but you just don't know it. So it's subconscious hatred. Whatever the hell that is, right? It's all bullshit. It's all bullshit, man. Don't fall for it. What a show tonight. Thank you guys for your super chats tonight so far, man. This is awesome. You guys are amazing. Shane Ashley says every Thursday when we have awful games, these are discussions we have instead. Yeah, well. Donnie says we are members of the VAS Church of Latter-day Saints. Nice. We're gonna turn this into a cult. Is that what we're gonna do? So. But no, it's all bullshit. You guys know within yourself who you really are. You know who you are. And everything else is for their own good. You always ask yourself, when you see the NFL do something, ask two questions. Is it going to improve the game? And then ask the second question. Does it improve everything for them personally? And I don't mean the players, I mean the owners and the PR and the machine and all that. Try to ask those two questions to yourself anytime something's applied. That's what I do. And that's how I come across things like this. Like with the number change or the taunting rules. The taunting rules has nothing. It does not improve the game at all. It has nothing to do with it. It just first of all, it stops the momentum of the game, and it stops the competitiveness, and people are afraid to even be themselves. And if these athletes can't be themselves, what do you have? What do you have? You just have a bunch of timid people walking on eggshells. They're supposed to be on the field, focused on the game, and they're worried about other crap. All right, and that's not productive. So, and I am not talking about extremes here. I'm saying within limits here. But come on, we all know that in sports you say a lot of crazy stuff. So, and you don't mean it. You don't mean it. Of course not. So, yeah, Trav, that was awesome. I think everyone enjoyed our conversation there. Yeah, man. South Dakota saved, 100% truth. Thank you, man. I've seen a lot of new people here tonight. I love seeing new people. You guys come back. You stick around, okay? You become part of the community because we're a tight-knit group here. So we all, get familiar with each other. It's awesome. Marcus 415. Hello, man. Brian Magnum. Hey, what's up, dude? Nice to see you here. So good morning in Europe. Dinnerling from Germany. So we have a good game coming up this Sunday. So we're playing the Cowboys, and I think that's going to be a good test for the Patriots. And I think that is a game where we can really see the progression and the development that we're looking for. Because now we're in October. It's already week 6. Hard to believe it's week 6, right, guys? But this is a great test. So I'm really looking forward to this game. What I want to do this Sunday is we're going to try something new. And this was Milena's proposition. You came up with this, what, last Sunday?
Yeah, to test it.
So if you are a member, okay, and remember, you can join. It starts at only $2 a month. I mean, if you already send super chats and stuff like that, you might as well join and be a part of the group and do that. But we're gonna have a members chat during the Pats game, so it's gonna be a live show like this, and but it's just we're all gonna be talking to each other in the chat. And so that way we can react to what's going on and in the moment, but it's members only. We're going to start it out as members only. So I want to see how this goes. I think it'll be a lot of fun because during a game, I have a lot to say. Okay. And I'm not going to remember everything in my post game. Like, I'm sure there were a lot of things I said during the Bucs game a while ago, and I don't remember all of it. And so I don't communicate it to you guys. But this gives me a way to kind of communicate what I'm thinking in the moment at that time, and to let you guys communicate to me in the moment as well. And I think it'd be really good, another cool perk for you guys who pay for the membership. So I think it's just something that we want to try out, and I think it'll go good. So don't forget that. So on Sunday, Patriots game, we're going to try it for the Pats game, and if it goes good, we might start doing it just for all kinds of different games too later on in the season. So, Cesar, nice to see you back, man. I haven't seen you in a while. Where you been, buddy? Dinnerling says you gave my iCloud email address to Revis. Darrell Revis? Okay. Well, that would be awesome. Absolutely. Please do. Give my email address to any player. Hell yeah. Tyrus Ivory, man, haven't seen you in a while. He says every time Brady goes up 2 touchdowns, Bruce Arians tries to sneak in his playbook. My God, Tyrus, you're right, and I said that. Every time. So I'm going to read his post again. Every time Brady goes up 2 touchdowns, Bruce Arians tries to sneak in his playbook, and the offense gets stagnant. Tampa talent overcomes the coaching. Absolutely. Absolutely. Now Jalen, we're going to start out just we're going to have a chat running, and on the screen, different things on the screen like the score and what's going on and all that stuff. And I may even pop on from time to time and give a quick rant or something. I don't know, but it'll just be running. And but the chat I'll be in the chat. All of us will be there saying what we want to say. So. So yeah, can you post a link for the members to join? You or
Whoever
Nightwalker,
has it.
whoever has the link to that. It's a link that goes directly to the memberships. So
That's fine. That's good.
we're doing good. We're up to 40 people now. So it's freaking awesome. But a proper church has at least 100 members of the congregation. So we need you guys. All right. So, or what we call it, the empire. Speaking of the empire, okay, so this is funnily enough. You guys know that I've been advertising something called Mental MMA, and it's a show that I'm doing. I'm going to be a part of with my brother Jason and one of my closest friends, a guy named Roman. And how perfect that his name is Roman, considering that our theme here is almost everything is based off the Roman Empire, right? So, and how we conduct everything in the members section is based off the Roman Empire. So that's my favorite historical, when it comes to world history, it's my favorite historical time period. But But his name is actually Roman, so how perfect is that, right? And we'll do a first event next month. So all right. So anything else you guys want me to cover? Did I forget? Let's see here. Give me one moment. I got it. I can get it. Yeah. It's in the description of all the other videos. So. Normally I put it in the description, but I forgot to because I was in a hurry after the game started. There we go. Yeah. See if that link works. So I just posted it in the comment section. So it's yeah. My thoughts on Kansas City's struggles. It's the NFL caught up with them. That's exactly that always happens. Okay, it always happens. That's you've got to evolve as a quarterback. You've got to evolve, and people think that I'm a hater or whatever. It's not. I don't have a problem with any team except the Jets. Okay, so I'm not going to apologize for that. I don't like the Jets. I don't like them. I don't like their organization. I don't like how they run things. I don't like what they've done in the past. And honestly, I really don't like the Colts that much and Jim Irsay for what he did regarding Deflategate. So I don't, but everyone else, I have no reason to not or to hate the Kansas City Chiefs. And I certainly don't hate a team because they're good. I want to see excellence. I want there to be dominant teams. I want there to be teams that are like the guys you measure yourself up against. So long being a Patriots fan, for 20 years, people hated our team just because we were good. And I never understood that. It's like, why do you hate greatness? So no, being great doesn't make me this way. My problem is the lack of evolution and the hype. Don't say that Patrick Mahomes is the greatest ever. Don't say that, they were putting this guy in the Hall of Fame before he even won a Super Bowl. Don't say that he's the greatest we've ever seen. We've never seen anything like that. All that stuff is annoying. And it's not Patrick saying this stuff. I'm talking about everybody else that's saying that about him. Of course, Patrick's family doesn't do him any favors. They're insufferable. I have no idea how every member of his family can be such annoying assholes towards fans of other teams. But yet Patrick handles himself completely different. It's like it's freaking weird. But yeah, I want to see Patrick evolve. I want him to start adding to his game. And you know what? A lot of that, it's on him too, because he's old enough now. He's been in the league long enough to take it upon himself to evolve his game. But it's also on Andy Reid. So a lot of these coaches, they don't want to take the training wheels off. And we saw Sean McVay ruin Jared Goff. We saw him ruin Jared Goff. So he wouldn't take the training wheels off. And I think Andy Reid seems to just wants Patrick Mahomes to keep throwing the ball downfield like it's nobody's business. It's not going to work, man. It's not going to work. Let's see here. Give me just a second. Stay with me, guys, because I have a few more thoughts on that. Man, this taking forever to open. Any day now. Here, I'll just play this for a second while I'm waiting.
Flag on the play if you're not subscribed to Von Allen Sports. But once you are, we'll make it up to your team in the fourth quarter. You're watching Von Allen Sports, real and honest NFL analysis. Subscribe now and join the empire. Von Allen Sports, let's go.
All right. Finally, it opened. Okay. Yeah, I was trying to send a link, and so I was just sitting there like, "Goo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo." So, you guys, that was funny, right, Dean Blandino? Yeah, I wrote that script for him. What was cool is that he had a good sense of humor about it, and that's, because people say the refs make up stuff or they do things that are kind of questionable, and I just thought I'd have a little fun with that, especially since he was the head of referees for the NFL for so long. Turbulent Velocity, welcome. Turbulent Velocity just joined. All right, guys, let's get some more. Okay, yeah, but I just want to see the evolution of the quarterbacks more, and that's what I'm that's my biggest concern, because I care about the future of the sport, So, Red Coat, what's up, man? Wait,
Morning.
you're at home. What are you doing at home?
I'm working in my office at home today. Got some stuff I need to get on with without
Okay.
being disturbed. So I thought
I
I'd
see.
jump in for a
So what's on your mind?
very quick chat. So I'm looking forward to seeing the game later, which will hopefully be pretty good. I saw the box score and the stats. So I think that's the first pick Brady's thrown in about 5 weeks or something, 4 weeks. I think it was week 1 was the last time he threw a pick. So he's still doing pretty well. He's still on pace for like 6,000 yards, which is ridiculous at his age. So I'm just looking forward to the Cowboys game this weekend. It's a real measuring stick for the Patriots.
Yeah. So did you get a chance to catch up with the game and watch some of it?
I've seen some of the clips, but I've looked at the box score mainly. So I'll have a watch later on when I finish what I'm doing around lunchtime, and then see how it goes. We need to have a call later as well, not live, to go through. Well, for me to show you the trophy and stuff.
Absolutely.
Because I've rendered it and stuff, so put in some color. So yeah, should be cool.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
Tyrus Ivory just said Sean McVay ruined Goff talking to him until the helmet feed cut off. He's a Napoleon coach that believes he could have had a chance as a player. Exactly, Tyrus. Thank you. Well said.
Yeah.
I've said this so many times that a lot of these coaches want to live vicariously through their quarterback. It's absolutely true. And Sean McVay is the epitome of that. Okay? He is that guy. And a lot of these coaches that got jobs because of him are the same way. And I think that Joe Burrow is going to be ruined for it. And I hope not. But I think Zach Taylor is going to do the same thing to him. And that was probably why Aaron Rodgers didn't get along with Matt LaFleur for the first year. It's because Matt LaFleur was trying to incorporate that crap, right? So.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you're trying to tell, especially if you're trying to tell a great quarterback what to do until the last minute, right? Yeah, he's probably just going to pretend that's already shut off and ignore you anyway, and then just carry on and either do the play or check out of it. Exactly.
But in Goff's case, now he's in Detroit and he's having to learn to play quarterback again. So McVay ruins the guy and then dumps him. And then everyone thinks it's his fault. You're telling me that if he didn't develop if he would have developed Goff properly, that he wouldn't be just as good right now as Matthew Stafford? At least almost? Come on, man. Jared Goff is
Well,
not that bad. Okay? Look how well he did with a guy always in his ear, with not being able to make the decisions, without not developing decisions. So what if he was developed correctly? Imagine what he could do. That's
yeah.
my problem. That's my
And that's the
problem with
thing as
McVay.
well. If you're in a situation where you're not letting a guy actually learn how to do the job, I mean, it was quite clear in the Super Bowl against the Patriots. He had no idea what to do because the defense wasn't showing him anything until after his little voice in his head had shut off. So then he just had to wing it, and that's why they couldn't do it. And that's why they scored so few points. And that's the thing. If you're going to have someone constantly in your ear telling you everything to do, well, it's not too long before people cotton on to that and then start to be like, okay, well, we won't show him anything until 15 seconds is enough time to line up in your actual defense after your little leprechauns stop talking to you. So it was never going to be a long-term solution to anything.
He is a leprechaun.
Which is why Matt Stafford doesn't need to be doing it.
Yeah. But I think Jared had a lot of potential, and he could have been he might still be, but I don't see it. I don't see it happening now. But he could have been, because that was a good team he had around him.
Yeah.
And
he's screwed now, unfortunately.
Yeah, he's screwed now. So now you've got Matthew Stafford coming in, who already knows the position, so you don't have to do that with him. But all you had to do was just teach Jared. And Jared, what would be, if he was on the Rams, he'd be in his 5th year with them now, something like that. That's and a fifth year guy, number 1 pick, with proper coaching training, especially with a guy like Jared who has all the attributes that you would want in a quarterback. He'd be pretty damn good. So
yeah, definitely, it'd certainly be, in a great position to have a decent career, a starting quarterback career in the NFL for some years, rather than being sort of dumped in Detroit, where he now has to learn. But he has to learn on, and give him their dues, they play hard, but he has to learn on a bad team. So that's not ideal.
Well, that's what annoys me so much about the Rams, is that Sean McVay did that and then kicked out Jared, and it looks as if Jared was the problem, And now McVay looks like, everyone's, he's a genius coach for making this move. Oh yeah, genius. Let's say ruin your number 1 overall pick, ruin your quarterback. It wasn't his technically, but second year he came in the second year. But you ruined your guy, and then brought in a veteran who knows what he's doing, and not just any veteran, a really really good veteran.
Yeah.
So
Matt Stafford,
and now you look like the genius all of a sudden. Please, please. That's the same thing as bringing Tom Brady to the Bucs and everyone going, oh, look at Bruce Arians, he's such a great coach. Oh yeah, I'm impressed, buddy. So I said this before, I'll say it again. This is Arian. This is McVay. I sunk the Titanic, but look how cool the lifeboats are. It's like, give me credit. Give me credit, even though I completely destroyed the guy. So and sent him away. So, and in this analogy, Matthew Stafford is the lifeboat. It's like, oh, okay, so you are.
I don't know.
You're the hero.
I think in that analogy, Matthew Stafford's actually the Olympia that all of the survivors then got on after the Titanic. So it's like, see what I built in the background. But no, not really, dumbass.
That's true.
So
that's true. They definitely, Stafford is the Olympia. Yeah. Yeah, I like that better. So,
but it's one of those things, isn't it? Mm-hmm. It's like, you can't. Okay, he gets credit because he is a good coach. That's fine. But
he's a good coach,
but
not a great coach.
How to no, exactly, and just taught his quarterback how to be quarterback. So I don't know. It's one of those things. I mean, there was I've seen so many narratives lately about Brady as well, and what he's doing in his 40s and stuff like that. And it's like, well, as he said, it's not because of his body that he's going to quit playing football. It's because it's about
'Cause he
time
just
to
wants
spend some
to.
time with his family, because before too
Yeah.
long, his wife's going to kick his head in. So I don't care how good at football or how big he is. It's like, you can only piss off a woman so long before you're going to lose that battle. So, it's like, yeah, he said he can play to 50, 55, but he won't because, he needs to
You
have
never
a
know.
family life. And
You
it's
never
like,
know.
yeah,
Well,
I mean,
but
play as long as you want
good
to play the game. If
one
you're
good
producing.
sign. Okay, one good sign right now is Brady done something that Belichick did. Belichick was on his way to retiring. Remember in that documentary in 2009 from the 2009 season, it was a football life. It was a 2-hour special, and he said that he's not going to be like Mark Levy, the former coach of the Buffalo Bills, who coached into his 70s. Yeah, well, that's going to happen now. And what changed for Bill is that, of course, he's not going to leave now. His sons are on the coaching staff.
Yep.
So he's not missing out on his kids because they're with him. So now all of a sudden he doesn't have to retire. He can be with them. And now it's his job as a coach is now not just that, but it's making his sons better at coaching and raising their level up. So now he's doing a family thing. It's not just about football. It's also family. So it locks Belichick in place for a while. And it has. This has worked for a few years now. So
it's also a case of
right,
as well, like
with
Belichick's
Brady,
had go on.
with Brady, now his oldest son Jack is the ball boy for the Bucs.
Right, yeah.
So he's got his son at the team, at the facility. See what I mean? So now he's getting time with his son, his oldest. So maybe it makes it a little easier to keep playing because you are getting to be dad. You are getting, and you're telling me that what's the other kid's name? I don't know the other son's name, but he's got another
I
boy
can only remember
with Giselle.
the
Well,
other.
how long is it before he's doing that? So
Yeah.
I'm just saying that if that pattern follows, maybe Tom just keeps playing. So I'm not saying to 55, but I'm just saying that longer than he thinks. Longer than he thinks. Yeah.
I guess it's how long you decide your body can put up with being slammed on the ground by the JJ Watts and the Chandler Joneses of the world. If you can decide, yeah, I can still put up with this, then fine. Play as long as you want to play. If you're producing, it doesn't matter. So, and let's face it, considering what he's done at the Bucs already, they'll just keep re-signing him as long as he wants to play. Let's be honest. So,
Redcoat in 3 more years. Okay, and listen, I have a. Okay, everyone put on their tinfoil hats. You guys ready for this one? You're gonna love this. Do you know why there's been so many TV commercials during football games about the sleep number beds? Do you know why they've been doing that? Because they've been programming us. They've been getting us ready for, in a few more years, when the defense sacks the quarterback, they're going to lay him down on a sleep number bed, okay? Or some kind of pillow, or they're going to make a little bed for him, and they're going to put him down, and the quarterback's going to just, here you go, baby. We're going to put you to bed. I'm going to burp you, and all this stuff. Here's your bottle. And that's exactly what's going to happen. So, yes, Tom Brady, like Montana was right about that. They will be able to play until they're 90, okay? So,
well, they'll just replace the
that,
quarterback eventually and just put the judge machine there, and it'll just fire the freaking balls down the field.
You can just do that because the jugs machine might be more accurate than most of these young quarterbacks. Boom, boom. I need one of those. Come on, I need one of those. You know what? Actually, I could program a button to do that. So,
to be fair, one of the guys I've been enjoying watching at the moment though is Justin Herbert.
He doesn't count.
That kid is
he doesn't count. Man. That's not who. Oh, no, you probably didn't see. Did you see the beginning of my show tonight? Did you catch the beginning?
I don't think so. I think I missed like 5-10 minutes or something.
Okay, I went off on all quarterbacks except Herbert. So I explained how Herbert is so good and why he sticks out because he plays the quarterback position the way it was played in the 90s and 2000s. And but the rest of them are just completely lost. But a jugs machine might actually have a jugs machine. You guys don't know what that is. A jugs machine is the machine that shoots the ball for wide receivers so they can catch it. And if you lay that out there on the field and have it remote controlled to the coach, then hey, Sean McVay and Andy Reid won't even need a quarterback anymore. They can just press the button, and that might actually be more accurate than Jalen Hurts. So
Yeah, you ain't got an actual human screwing up the play, as it were, even though you kind of need that for some stuff. But I tell you what, though,
Carson Wentz.
Really, well, I mean, seriously, Joe Burrow is cool to watch, but that guy needs to actually think how long he wants to play in this league. Because if he keeps playing like Carson Wentz, which is the hey, watch this kind of way of doing things, fuck it, you're not going to go for long doing that. You're just going to keep getting killed by defensive players. I mean, most cornerbacks are not the same size as a lot of quarterbacks, but they will still hurt you because they're used to smashing into people, and quarterbacks aren't. So you need to, think about some of that crap.
Exactly. We have a few questions here. Jalen asked me, name someone coaching who you think is great. Okay, as opposed to good. I'm assuming that's in response to my comment about Sean McVay being good and not great. Great coaches right now. That's easy. Well, obviously Belichick.
Sean Payton.
I think Andy Reid. Sean Payton. John Harbaugh. I think these guys are great coaches. Mike Tomlin.
I think Sean McDermott's on his way.
It's hard to argue. Yeah, Sean McDermott's a great coach. I think. Well, no, not yet. He's on his way. Let's wait. He's on his way. Okay, is that what you said? I didn't hear.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Sean McDermott's on his way, and Sean McVay can be a great coach too. I'm not saying, but not yet. Not when you've ruined a first round quarterback like that. The point is if Jared Goff if Jared Goff had been drafted to the Saints, what would he be right now? If Jared Goff was drafted to the Patriots, if Jared Goff was drafted to the Ravens or to the Chiefs, what would he be right now? That's the difference.
Well,
okay.
Jared Goff was drafted to the Patriots at that point, and he'd probably be a bloody Brown because Kraft would have made him trade him. And I
meant if he was the starting quarterback and there was,
Yeah.
So in this scenario, there's if he goes to the Chiefs, there's no Mahomes. It's Jared Goff. If he goes to the Patriots, it means that Tom Brady had left. Or I just mean it based on the coaching style. So that's how you can kind of tell a great coach is in that aspect. So I'm sure I might be forgetting somebody at the moment, but just to answer your question quickly, that's kind of the thing I'm going with there. So Tyrus Ivory says, I don't like the hype either, Vaughn. People forget Rodgers had to get his whole throwing rebuilt. Yep. And Mahomes inherited a playoff team from Alex Smith. Brady inherited nothing, and that is a big difference right there.
Well, this is the thing as well. It's like, when they talk about who they're trying to compare at the moment. They're trying to compare, I think it was one of the rookie quarterbacks to Josh Allen. And you're like, well, the difference is with Josh Allen, he also had his mechanics rebuilt as such because they figured out he wasn't putting his body and his hip into his throws. He was just throwing it off pure arm strength, which is impressive in itself. But when you actually bring the full body mechanics into it, look at him now. Like, his accuracy has improved drastically. He can still throw the ball, probably the whole length of the bloody field. And he's on, the Bills are kicking out everyone's ass. So, I mean, and the Bills is not a team that I hate either. So even though they're in our division and,
me
probably
too.
going to embarrass us a couple of times this season. But, I can't hate them. So, as long as it's not the Jets, it's fine.
Yeah. Brian Magnum asked me, Vaughn, do you think Dan Marino was a better quarterback than Montana?
Better thrower of the ball.
That's a weird question. Not your question's not weird, but I mean, like, it's a weird one to answer.
Taking in
so
all
what
the
are we
metrics
talking
of
about
a
here?
quarterback, I'd say probably no, because if you put everything together, no.
If we're talking about just the precision of and the actual, the passing ability, the physicality, the physical parts of being a quarterback, Dan's probably better, but overall,
Yeah, Joe.
Joe,
Yeah.
definitely Joe. So Joe may not have his Dan's specific arm, okay, and that, but Joe's got everything else. So Joe's got decision making. Joe's got poise and balance and just an overall leadership ability. Dan Marino, people don't understand. Dan Marino wasn't that great of a leader. Okay, a lot of complaints, and when I was a kid, it was a complaint all the time. And I remember in interviews and stuff, people would say this about him. You know, Dan is not the kind of guy that people really want to go out there and die for on the field. You know, and
Sure, but also winning.
well, that goes to winning. Exactly. Yeah, that goes to winning. And Joe is so it's kind of like talking about you know, trying to say the difference between two players, because one is actually just overall better, but the other guy has one specific thing he's just really good at, but he's not as good in all the other
Well, it's
categories.
like the modern comparison now between Brady and Rodgers. Rodgers' arm talent compared to Brady is better. You know, he does.
I mean, like
there are things he
the
does that
variety
Brady
of
can't
things
do.
that he does.
But
Sorry.
overall,
Yeah.
You wouldn't pick Rodgers over Brady ever.
Hell no.
Yeah. And that's just a fact. So, but there's some throws that Rodgers makes that you know, and even Brady would admit he can't make those throws. Like there are some that Rodgers just does, and you just think, how the frickin' hell did he do that? But as an actual quarterback who leads your team, leads your guys, leads your franchise, and you know, someone to believe in the clutch. Yeah, well, that's Brady, and it's the same with Montana and Marino. Montana's the guy for that, I think, personally.
Yeah. So
I tell you what, I think this game this weekend for us is a huge measuring stick game for how this season's going to go, because as in the Pats Cowboys this weekend, because I'm quite concerned that we might have alarms going off. Yeah, I'm quite concerned if we do lose this game. I mean, it's not the end of the season, obviously, but you know, I'm wondering if we're going to go like 7-10, and if we win this game, that's a huge that kind of changes my idea on that whole record. However, you know, I had to look through the schedule as much as you're not supposed to look forward, and there's still a fair few L's in there potentially. So
it's still hard to believe that this is the deal. Like,
yeah,
this is. I mean, I get it. You know, it's just but sometimes it's just like sounds so weird. I'm not used to hearing things like that. You know,
I'm not used to hearing less than 10 wins.
Yeah, and that seems like what's wrong. I remember when the last time we got 10 wins in a season, I was panicked. Like, what the hell is happening? Like, what I think that was the 2009 season, right? 2009 we had 10 wins, and that was not good. I was really worried about that. And then we got blown out by the Ravens in the wild card, so it makes sense. So, yeah.
But that's the thing is, like, other than 2002, we haven't had less than 10 wins for 20 years. So, obviously not counting last year, obviously, but that leads into last year and this year. So, yeah, I don't know. It's it lends itself to some concern, but hopefully, I don't know. I mean, to be fair, I'll be less worried if if the Cowboys don't run all over us, and we also manage to play well defensively, then I'll have some optimism for that. If they stomp on us, then that will be a bit of a worry. Well, and a friend of mine's a Cowboys fan, which just drives me crazy.
Oh God! Well, my sister hates the Cowboys, so man, if you're ever in the Facebook group sometimes and you watch her post about Cowboys, it's hilarious, man. It's relentless. She is just relentless about them. I don't even know where it comes from. I have no idea. I need to ask her actually. So
I guess everyone has that team that they just hate.
Something about them that you just don't like. Like, people think that my hatred for the Jets seems just unhealthy and irrational, but I can't help it. So Tyrus Ivory says, notice how when the Patriots were owning the AFC East, it was because the division was so bad. but now the Bills are doing the same, and it's because the Bills are so great. Anything to
Yeah.
discredit Brady and the Patriots, that is absolutely true. It's 100% accurate. That's the way it is. And you notice that when Tom went to the NFC, now it's all about, the NFC South is weak. Wait,
Yeah.
what are you talking about? When he went there, first of all, the NFC South had 2 elite quarterbacks in it, and it's not his fault Drew Brees just fell off a cliff, to use Max Kellerman's. Brees did fall off. It just, so
Yeah.
it's not his fault. Brady, when he went to the Bucs, he was going into a situation where the Saints ruled, and all of last year it looked
And they
like
proved
still
it. They
did
kicked the Bucs'
because
ass
they beat
twice.
the crap out of them twice.
Yeah.
Don't tell me that he went into a made situation, and also with Rodgers in the conference and the Packers. Come on, man. Really?
Yeah.
It's
Exactly.
anything, like Tyrus said, it's anything to discredit Brady. And notice how Aaron now is talking about trying to leave and possibly go into an AFC team and all this stuff. That's funny how that works.
Yeah.
Everyone's jumping
Making
ship
googly
now that
eyes at
the
the
king is
Steelers.
here. Yeah. Yeah, go to the Steelers to get away from Tom. So now that Tom's not whipping on the Steelers once a year. So, yeah, that's nice. But,
that'll be pretty hard for Big Ben, won't it? Say he retires at the end of the year, broken, and the Steelers stay pretty much the same, maybe a few additions, and then Rodgers goes there next year and they get to like the AFC Championship game or something like that. That'd be pretty hard for Big Ben, considering I think they were in the same draft class, weren't they?
No.
So.
Well, Big Ben was in 04 with Eli and Phillip.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And
yeah.
Aaron was in 05 with Alex Smith.
Yeah.
But almost only a year apart. It's practically the same. I mean, they're the same. They're from the same group, college group. So
yeah. So that'll be pretty hard for Big Ben, I'd imagine.
Let's see what.
Well, I'm going to sign
said,
off, dude. I just thought I'd jump in quickly and say hello to everyone. I ain't seen the community for a while.
Okay, let's answer this one real quick. Let's answer this one real quick, and I'll go too.
Okay.
Jalen says at Von Allen Sports, he says, I predicted the Patriots would get 8 wins max. Do you think I'm wrong? Well, my opinion is I want to see Dallas.
7, so. Yeah.
Yeah. Let me see Dallas. If we look good against Dallas, that's going to change everything. So I'll answer that one on Sunday.
If we do well against Dallas and either prevent them from scoring much and it's a low scoring game that we lose, or win, then I don't think we'll like beat the Bills, but we'll certainly slow them down. So I think that would lend itself to, there's a few more teams in that group out of 10 total losses that I've got that I think we could probably beat. So I think we could, if we do really well against Dallas or beat them, I think we could have a winning record. But at the moment, for me, I've got 7 wins, and it's hard to go against, really.
All right, cool. All right, well, thanks for calling in, Redcoat. I appreciate it, buddy.
No worries. Good to see everyone, and I'll catch you a bit later, Aaron, and we'll have a chat.
All right, sounds good, man. Bye.
Cool.
All right, wow, we have a super chat, a big one again. Donnie, another super chat. $20 super chat. He says, I asked your sister that in the chat before. I've always hated the Cowgirls. Okay. You asked my sister in the chat before, and she replied, I've always hated the Cowgirls. Never have been able to stomach them. Maybe it all started with Troy Aikman. He just has a face that when you see it, you want to punch it.
That's quotable.
Oh, man. Okay, well, that's my sister, ladies and gentlemen. The quote of the night is that Troy Aikman has a face that's punchable. And they're not the Cowboys, they're the Cowgirls. So, and it's not sexist because the girl said it. So, I don't want the woke police on my case. So, that's funny. Thank you for sending that, Donnie. That's awesome, man. I just want to say, just to wrap up, you can get this jersey and this cup jersey, this sweater, and this cup, and all kinds of cool Von Allen Sports merchandise. There should be a link under the video to everything. We have all kinds of different things. We have stuff right now. We have stuff for Browns, Bears as well, and we have something for the Saints fans, if you like that as well. But also Patriots and things like that.
And you designed it.
I designed it, yes, and also we have a sponsor for the live shows now. Ecamm. Ecamm is the software that I'm using right now to do the shows. So right now it's Mac only. So if you have a Mac, it's really good, but it's very reliable and it's awesome. So I love it. I'm going to be doing a lot more things with it. They just expanded the features, and I've added something called Stream Deck, which is this, and it allows me to designate different things, and I can, like earlier when I was talking about the having a little drum roll or a little, like that after a joke or something, any kind of audio trigger, I can use that to trigger it with the Ecamm software. So I guess I will see you guys when. Are we going to do a VAS live show on Friday and tomorrow night? Because that event was moved to Saturday, correct? So, okay, I will post soon and let you guys know for sure if there's a VAS live show tomorrow night or not. And but definitely there will be on Sunday. There will be like I said, the members only chat during the Patriots game, and then there will be a Patriots post game. So like normal. But thank you guys for being here tonight. I really appreciate it, and I hope you guys all have a great weekend. Okay. Thank you so much. Have a good night. Bye.
This is Patriots linebacker, Super Bowl 49 champ, Darius Fleming, and you're watching Von Allen Sports. Real and honest NFL analysis. Subscribe now. Join the empire. Von Allen Sports, let's go!